So you're telling me this guy body shames this girl on national TV and it only gets worse?
Because he was intimidated by her success.
Do not comment on a woman's body like that.
You need a real man. You think your dad's gonna like Connor? Like, I don't give a flying fuck.
Chris from Love is Blind might just be the most hated man on the internet right now. I mean, other than maybe a few others, but if you don't know Chris and you don't know Love is Blind, let me give you a quick recap before diving into the atrocious actions from this season's Most Wanted man. When I say most wanted, I mean prison. I mean most wanted for like 911. Can someone please come get this man? The girls don't want him, okay? Other than maybe Bree. She's an interesting one, but we will talk about her later. Love is Blind is a Netflix reality dating show where people sign up to sit in pods and talk to strangers. Sounds fine, right? Except for the totally chill fact that you are here to find your future husband or wife within 10 days. That's right. By the end of the 10 days, he better have gotten on one knee and proposed to you, or else that's it. You're off the show. There goes your 5 seconds of fame, sweetie. This, of course, creates the perfect landscape for drama and heartbreak, the recipe, essentially, for good reality TV. You can understand why Netflix has been milking the hell out of this show for 10 seasons now, even though it is clearly obvious that Love is not blind because of people like Chris, who prioritize looks way more than the average person normally even would. Chris is a 5'8" white man from Ohio, where this season is based. According to the very small text below his name, he is an accountant executive, which is rich because it's alleged that he's like $60,000 in credit card debt, but that's besides the point. Honestly, Chris is not awful looking, like he's just an average guy, and I don't think people would be hating on his looks this much if he was a good guy, but he's not. He's not a good guy. Chris ends up with Jessica by the end of the pods, which hopefully isn't spoilers. I mean, if you clicked on this video, then I don't know what you expected. But Jessica is a beautiful woman. She is a doctor and is looking for someone to add to her life. But the longer you watch this video, the more you will realize that Chris is quite the opposite of that person that she dreams about. In the pods, Chris has two options, and a lot of people do that. I mean, it's very common for the people in the show to weigh out their options, talk to multiple people, because that's like the whole point. You're dating around, but at really fast speeds, because you're trying to get married within a few days without seeing the person, which is such a bizarre concept. Like, I don't know how anyone actually thinks that would work out in the end. Like, I get it. It doesn't work out in the end for all of these people. Even if they get married, I'm sure they get divorced soon afterwards, but that's too little time to get to know someone. But anyway, so Chris is talking to two girls, Jessica, who we talked about earlier, and Bree. Bree is actually Chris's #1 person in the pods, the person that he originally says is the top of his list. But when Jessica admits to Chris that he is her #1 and that she isn't even looking at anybody else, he quickly switches that narrative and tells her that she's also his #1.
Since day 2, I've only had one #1. It's Jess. Like, I was like, it's literally Jess. And the fact that you said that just makes it even better.
But he's just casually talking to another girl who we know is Bree, and that they are basically just bros. Like, you got nothing to worry about. We're just bros.
It's like a dude almost hanging out with me.
That's how you know it's bad. When your man says, like, she's my bro, that's the equivalent of, like, a girl being like, oh, he's totally my gay bestie. But unless he actually gay, you never know. So this is the start of Chris's case file of him just lying on public television. Like, of course, Chris, we're all gonna see that you lied. There are cameras pointed at your face, recording you saying these contradicting sentences. But thank you, it makes great TV. So then Chris goes to Bree, and plot twist, she is actually cutting it off with him. He immediately responds with like, why?
Why?
Looks really hurt actually, quickly switches the narrative and says he's glad that she came and told him this because he was actually about to say the exact same thing and cut it off with her. Wow, what a coincidence. Totally haven't seen that move a million times. Obviously, he's scared of rejection. He's scared of losing his power and dominance, and so he wanted to change the story on her and make it seem like, oh yeah, I also feel the exact same way. When you can tell by his original facial expression that he was hurt, but he realized, oh my gosh, I can't let that show. I need to make sure that I'm the dominant male figure in this power dynamic we have going on here, who's apparently just my bro. So with Bree currently out of the picture, Chris decides to choose Jessica and makes her his actual number one. And so he gets down on one knee and he proposes to a wall. So romantic. Fast forward, they see each other for the first time. He is relieved that she is like 5 feet tall because that means his 5'8" self is actually tall to her, which nothing wrong with a 5'8" man. My man is 5'8". I'm also 5'8", but thank God my man does not act like Chris. If he acted like Chris, he'd be out the door in a second. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. They go to Cabo together on a little couple's vacation to get to know each other better. A few episodes pass and we get to, I believe, episode 9 and 10, which holds some of the most iconic scenes that have been spreading like wildfire on TikTok. Preface, Chris and Jessica, I guess, have been living together for a few days at this point. Chris needed a little break and told Jessica that he needed like 13 hours. And he said specifically 13 hours. And so he went out and then disappeared for 48 hours and finally came back through the apartment window, which, why? Like, it's giving teenage boy hiding from his mother, not teenage boy who's hiding from his fiance. So Chris and Jessica's conversation starts with Jessica asking him where he has been for the last 48 hours and why he has not responded to her text in the last 48 hours. I'm sorry, what? I don't think this is high standards or expectations to think that's crazy. Like, this is your fiance that you are leaving undelivered while you are out who knows where. I don't know. That would have been the first like major red flag for me that I would have been like, I think this is done. But it gets worse. He argues his point, man. But he argues that he shouldn't be in constant communication with her. But she clocks him back and says, yeah, I don't think so either.
I sent you one text today saying that and saying that I love you. Very vast difference from being in constant communication with someone.
I am expecting basically the bare minimum. I texted you, I love you once in that 48 hours and you did not respond. Chris just kind of projects this all and then completely switches the conversation, asking her, do you think we have a good physical connection?
Do you think we have a good physical connection? I don't know. I'm trying to like pick my words carefully.
Of course, she responds like, yeah, I think so. I mean, she's a very communicative and open person. So if she had a problem with this, she probably would have brought it up already. But Chris then starts naming all the great aspects about their relationship in past tense.
It's such a great connection. And like, it was real.
That's how you know it's over, girl. Like, you might as well just start packing your bags right there. Like, don't wait around to hear what this man has to say. He's obviously checked out. You can see it in his face, and by him saying like, we had a great time together. Oh, bitch, we did have fun. And now you had out the door. But apparently all these great things are not enough for him because in the real world, aka not in a pod, he dates people who do Pilates and work out every single day.
I date people who like fucking do like fucking CrossFit and shit. Somebody who like works out all the time and like has like a different type of...
A different type of like body?
It's just like somebody who does fucking like Pilates every day.
And because Jessica lacks in that department, since, you know, she's a doctor working all the time, she doesn't have time to go to Pilates and wear a pink little Pilates outfit, Chris. But because she doesn't do this, he has a hard time getting it up, essentially. Can't get into the physical aspect of their relationship, saying, I don't want to fake something. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. It gets even worse because after saying all of that, he admits to thinking about what it would be like for him to have chosen his number 2 in the pods, Brianna. I told you she'd come back into this storyline.
I've not talked to this person, but like over the past 2 days, I was thinking about it, about like what it would be like I was with that person too. Just thinking about it.
What person?
The number 2 person I had. Not about it. I'm just being honest, like my thoughts. I was like, what would that look like?
You cannot tell me that this is just Chris trying to be honest. This is just relationship warfare. You cannot just segue from your almost wife asking you to communicate more to, oh, I don't think your body is good enough for me. It doesn't turn me on. And actually, I've been thinking and picturing another woman. So, like any rational person who has basic feelings, Jessica starts crying. He makes it seem like she is the problem for having a problem with him.
I don't know how I'm supposed to be like fun now.
Oh, wow, okay.
Me not working out every day is even a sentence that came up in this conversation. Is blowing my mind.
Literally eye rolling at her for repeating back to him the things that he said to her. Sorry, this is such a he said, she said, this is blah, blah, blah. There's lots to keep up with here. But don't worry, girls. She set a great example and she clocked him.
Body isn't good enough for you. Like, I'm never gonna be like, oh, please still love me. That's not what I'm here for.
If my body isn't good enough for you, I'm not gonna sit here being like, oh, please love me, which is totally what Chris was going for, but instead she gets up and leaves. Jessica is standing on business. She is a girl boss who deserves better than him, and honestly, I'm kind of grateful that he showed these red flags now before it was too late and she was married. Like, girl, get out of there. Run back to those Ohio suburbs. But in the confessional scene right after, Chris says that looks are really important to him, but if he was 90, like, oh, it wouldn't really matter. But right now, he's 32 or 32, 33, whatever. But right now, looks matter for him to fornicate. Yeah, his words, not mine.
I believe love is blind. I mean, I fell in love with someone without seeing them and literally wanted to spend the rest of my life with them. But when two people want to fornicate or have sex.
Why did you go on Love is Blind out of all of the reality dating shows if looks matter to you? Why did you waste your time, not to mention poor Jessica's time? He also just completely deflects and puts the blame on Jessica, saying that if she can't deal with how he feels, then that's on her.
If she doesn't like the way I feel and she feels like she can't be with me because of the way I feel, then it's what it is.
Like, no, man, that's on you for having extremely high expectations. Like, Jess is a 10 out of 10 naturally gorgeous woman with a great body. Like, honestly, if he thinks her body isn't snatched and cutting it, only imagine the type of content he consumes when it's late out night. Like, you just know he probably addicted to something, and it's created him to have these crazy expectations that a woman should look like this girl that he thinks does Pilates every day when he looks like that. I just thought it was interesting to note that he's also an ex-army vet. Nothing against the military, like, thank you for all that you do, but I live on an island that has so much military presence, and I've met a fair share of military men, and there's a lot of great military guys, but also, it definitely produces a certain type of man who reminds me a lot of Chris. So it's important to note that Chris knew Jessica was not the workout type of person, because in a scene a few episodes ago, I believe when they were in Cabo, whatever, she says to him, I just love eating, I do not love working out. Like, if you had a problem with it, you should have said that a few episodes ago, mister. But he didn't. He told her he didn't have a problem with it. So I can only imagine how out of the blue this must have felt for her, who one day felt so loved by him and thought she was going to marry the guy, to the next day feeling like he sees her as some type of monster for not doing Pilates. Like, I find it so rich that he says Pilates out of it all. Like, Pilates. He wants a Pilates princess? Go to Utah, man. Go find yourself a Mormon wife. Go find you a Mormon wife who dresses in all white, and she will be your Pilates princess. But I feel like the lesson that we can all take from this, especially myself, because I find myself doing this a lot, is just because you feel a certain way and you have this thought come into your mind does not mean you need to say it out loud. Honesty is not always the best policy. And you can tell that Chris feels as though he's doing the right thing here by being honest. He thinks he's openly communicating with his partner, right? But there is a major difference between two types of communication. One is being open about your feelings in a productive, constructive way, and one is just outright body shaming a woman. There is a clear line there. No blurred lines. It's a clear line. Okay, guys. guys, it gets worse. It gets so much worse. Because in the 10th episode, a lot of it is based in this bar where all of the cast is getting back together and, you know, hanging out. And I'm sure the producers are having everyone drink because Chris is definitely drunk. Or at least I hope he's drunk, because the shit he says, he better be drunk. Jessica still showed up to this, even though her and Chris are done. She's still one of the cast members, so she pulls up a little bit after Chris does, and all the girls greet her, you know, squealing, hyping her up, and telling her that her body looks amazing, and asking her if she works out.
Body is so perfect.
Which is just beautiful. Like, I'm sorry, I sometimes love being petty. And Chris overhears this and is like, oh, they hate me, which, yeah, they do. They definitely hate you. Anyway, they're doing their little girly pop yap session, and it's revealed that Chris went to a strip club the night they broke it off, started a new Instagram account, and posted on there a photo with a girl sitting on his lap. On this new Instagram account, he then tries to slide into Bree's DMs.
He DM'd me at like 11:30 and was like, oh yeah.
Also, side note, this is Chris's Instagram profile photo. Yeah, that's a photo of a man, all right. And that man is not Chris. Like, how do you go from this to this? This is also where we discover that Chris is usually into like 25-year-old girls. He's 32. This all should have just been a red flag. Like, you want a 25-year-old Pilates girl. Chris then goes up to the couple, Jordan and Amber, and says to the both of them that Amber is crazy. She's too much for us, but she's perfect for this dude.
You know, Amber is like, they're like, yo, she's crazy, she's like too much for us, but I'm like, she's perfect for this dude.
Which is such a backhanded compliment. He was totally trying to insult her, but at the same time, like, an average man wouldn't detect that insult. Like, oh, you know, you're saying that we're perfect for each other. But the way he says it, like, people think you're crazy. I'm sorry, if someone told me, like, people think you're crazy, I would not take that lightly. He then says, I know you hate me, to Amber, to which she replies, yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, but
Okay, listen.
He says, you just don't know me. You don't know me. I swear I'm not an asshole.
Like, I promise you, like, I'm not like a crazy asshole.
He goes on and on, kind of trying to justify himself to her, but he looks really nonchalant and casual about it, but you can kind of tell that his ego is broken, that these people don't like him, even though he repeatedly says that he does not give a flying fuck.
I don't give a fucking fuck.
He says it so many times, even the other people in the room are like, oh my god, this man has said flying fuck like 5 times at this point.
I've heard him say it. I don't give a flying fuck 4 times already. Couldn't pay me to be in that conversation.
I even said it, and it's gonna be on camera. Like, I don't give a flying fuck.
But Amber is done with this conversation and just him in general, and delivers the iconic line, you think you're gonna get another hot doctor? I'm just saying. That's one of the clips that have been surfacing on TikTok a lot. Good for her. I love it when these girls clock these men. Anyways, right after this, 3 girls, Bree, Ashley, and Priyanka, approach Chris asking, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Which he takes as an opportunity to explain himself about the things he said to Jess. They are honestly way too nice to him in this scene, giving him the benefit of the doubt, saying their understanding of where he's coming from. It really just felt like they were trying to mother him. And it was just interesting seeing these girls being really supportive of Jessica in the previous scene and then going and sucking up to Chris in the next. Like, sure, maybe they were just trying to be nice, but I don't know, it just felt icky. But then while they're trying to be his personal cheerleader, he then delivers the line, I need there to be a sexual attraction when we're naked together.
It's like that's
way
more of a
different.
routine.
It's
like,
more-
and like the discipline and like the.
I need there to be a sexual attraction when we're naked together, and it's like,
And Bree goes, oh!
and it's like,
It was so subtle, but such an obvious switch in her brain. Like, oh, maybe this man has a problem. He then goes on to say the whole speech he did in the confessional about him not being 90 years old and that he's in his 30s and that he wants to F around and enjoy it. Telling the girls that it was the worst sexy time of his life.
it doesn't need to be 100%, but like, it needs to be something enjoyable, but it was the worst I've ever had in my life.
That's just icky. Imagine your ex-boyfriend, or sorry, ex-fiance telling your girls that the worst sexy time of his life was with you. This man, he better be drunk. Ashley and Priyanka make up some excuse that's an obvious excuse, like they were really bad at acting.
Chat with Alex a little bit.
Me? Okay, I'm ready. Sorry. All right, BRB.
And they leave, which gives Chris the opportunity to let it rip. His words, not mine, about his continuing feelings for Bree, saying that if he put in the work, Connor, her fiance, wouldn't even be in the picture.
I could have turned up the notch with you, and Connor wouldn't be
What do you mean?
in existence.
And that now that he's in the real world, he's realizing how much he fluffed up, which is just another way of saying that now that I see what you look like, I should have gotten my act together.
See it in the real world, and I'm like, fuck, I fucked up.
He also just tries to convince Bree that Connor is not good enough for him and that she needs a dominant man who's going to lead the way. May I remind you, Bree and Connor are engaged. Chris is a newly single man trying to sabotage that. Asking this poor woman sex with her fiance is the best sex that she's ever had. Like, he is really shooting his shot here, openly admitting that he told Jess, and I quote, "Bree is the type of girl I'd go for in the normal world. She's hot, the way she looks, the things she does." Imagine telling your at the time fiance this.
I even said to Jess, I was like, Bree is like a girl like I would go for in my normal world. And I was like, she's hot.
Oh my God, this poor woman. Like, I really hope the show offered her some therapy after this. This scene just continues to go on because he then asks Bree if she is sexually attracted to him and that he would take her to the Four Seasons, which, oh my God, dude. Saying that they would be fuck buddies.
I would take you. The Four Seasons.
Room service in the rose for Mr. Fusco.
Baby stuff. I felt like we would have been like fuck buddies. I saw your Instagram and I was like, yes. Message, but you're like, you never responded back, so I was like,
if only she responded to his message. I can't make this shit up. But you can tell that Bree is eating this up. She is enjoying the attention, letting him grab her hand while her fiance can clearly see what is going on here. The only time she really sets a boundary is at the end of the scene when she says that she would not go through this experiment, Love is Blind, with anyone else but her fiance Connor. Like, I don't know why she's giving this man a chance, but obviously she likes the attention. So the discussion then ends with Chris saying, "I guess I'm Andrew Tate."
apparently like I'm Andrew Tate apparently.
You're a who?
Which is so telling of who he is and the content that he consumes. I mean, he just screams red pill type of guy. So are we even shocked? And then one more tidbit, Chris then goes up to Jessica and asks her if they can talk in private, where he essentially tries to make himself feel better about all the stuff that he told her. But Jessica sets her boundaries and is basically saying what's done is done and it's too late now. Like, you can't go back, buddy.
You had your time to make sure of things, and that time is over.
If you don't want me to worry about that, that's fine. I'll do my own thing and worry about my own life then for the rest of my life.
Connor also handles the situation well because he doesn't get like super upset or frustrated publicly, and he acts very calmly when his fiance is telling him about all this stuff that went down. He simply just cuts off ties with Chris, and it seems like a lot of the guys in the show did. In a interview after all of this aired, I think they all kind of admitted to like, okay, yeah, we kind of just like aren't super close to him anymore. So
I don't hate the guy.
Okay.
Do we have a lot of communication? Not really.
yeah, no, that would be it. If some man is going after my fiance, ooh, I would throw hands. Just kidding. Peace and love. Anyways, some more information has come out now that all of the episodes are released, other than this year's reunion, which I'm really curious to watch. I hope Chris and Jessica are both there. But Chris's alleged ex-girlfriend has come out on TikTok saying that Chris led her on and did not inform her about his filming of Love is Blind. They met on Hinge shortly before he was about to go on a work trip in San Francisco.
He told me it was a work trip ghosted me the night before he was supposed to leave for this work trip.
He then ghosted this woman the night before he left and did not reach out to her until he got his phone back in Cabo after the pods, because I don't think they can have their phones then, so that they can't like look up people's social media and stuff and find out what they look like. Apparently this woman and him then dated after the show until Chris broke it off with her, leaving this voicemail.
Hey, why are we having this conversation?
because I want to make it clear to you because of the last text messages I've received from you. And I want to make it clear to you and put it in your brain. You can have sex with 10 fucking 15 dudes. I don't give a flying fuck.
You can tell it's him with the famous catchphrase, flying fuck. Anyway, another tidbit that came out in an interview with Jessica, she talked about how important it was for her to align politically with whoever she chose in the pods, and immediately asked all the men if they voted for Trump or not. She also asked Chris this question, and to which he responded that he was super liberal, which is exactly what Jessica wanted to hear. But it's obvious through his behavior and the fact that they live in Ohio that he is not a liberal man. Like, he is definitely a conservative, and that he lied about this just to get the girl. Anyway, people and therapists on TikTok are now analyzing Chris's every move for psychology. I mean, you know it's bad when Therapy Jeff gets involved. He says that men like Chris choose women who are out of their league because their value gives them value so that they can boost their egos and feel better about themselves, essentially. Using these women that they date as proof that they still got it, but deep down feeling insecure and knowing that they really don't compare with this woman that they somehow bagged. So instead of a healthy relationship dynamic, you have men making up reasons why they are unsatisfied with their partner, or even a reason to end the relationship so that they can escape before it gets out that they do not measure up with their partner. Insecure people like Chris tear down their partners so that they feel better about themselves since they feel inferior, hoping that their partner will seek out their approval for the thing they should be insecure about, and making them question themselves instead of questioning the person who is saying these things are wrong with them, aka Chris telling Jessica that her body isn't good enough. He was hoping that she would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'll go to the gym, and that she would be insecure just like Chris. But luckily for Jessica, she has confidence and she walked out of that relationship real quickly. So it's just a classic case of misery loves company. Well, Chris, if you're watching this, I can't say that I'm sorry because boof, that was a rough watch. I really hope that you can get some help, and if the credit card debt thing is true, hopefully you can get out of credit card debt. But I am curious what your guys' thoughts are on this season, and specifically Chris and Jessica's relationship, down below in the comments. I pray that everyone can avoid men like that in their lives, or a woman. Whoever. I want to thank you all so much for watching today's video. Subscribe if you would dare to have my videos show up on your feed, and I will see you all later. Bye!